who is shoving, who is having absurd performances early on. I go back to the well here in the Phillies pipeline. Gage Wood just entered MLB.com's top 100 prospects list a couple of days ago, and he should be in that company. Had a start for Single-A Clearwater, the Threshers, where he tossed 3 1/3 innings and struck out 8. So he recorded 10 outs, and 8 of them were via the punch-out. 70-grade fastball. It's as advertised. He breaks into the top 100 prospects list with 3 of his fellow Phillies: Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. The first and third in that list will be reaching graduation status relatively soon. Miller working back from a back injury. This guy is unbelievable, and selfishly, I hope he rides up the pipeline as quickly as possible and then makes a stop at Double-A for a little bit. I would love to see that firsthand.
It's happening. I already know it's going to happen. All he needs to do is get to high A. If he gets to high A, it's a cup of coffee in Double-A. I'm certain he will get a cup of coffee in Double-A if he can just get to high A. Mm-hmm. So many teams you see will do that, and they send their guys up even for the last 2 weeks. Just hope if you have your last series at home, or at least one of your last 2, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, I'm even going to go as far as to say now Cory and Jake Starr for the Reading Fighting Phils, folks. They do a fighting of the game when they win. I'm going to predict Gage Wood is going to be one of those guys they talk to in a Fighting Phils win. I'm going to go as far as to say there will be an interview of Gage Wood that you will see on your social channels. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I think he's going to, I love this pick. The fastball has been great. Fastball has excellent shape riding through the zone in that mid to high 90s. The breaking stuff is really the biggest swing for him. That curveball just drops off the table. It's looking great. Change up, slider. I think this guy's going to be a fast riser guy. I know there's bias, but he's a fast riser. I'm feeling that, just maybe not Kate Anderson level rising where he's starting at Double-A. I think we're going to see a few level jump from Wood by season's end.
I think so too, and yeah, there's definitely some bias in that hope, but I would love to see him. They're ramping him up. You're seeing the innings, the pitch count start to rise, and I think with that, you'll see him crawl his way up the Phillies system. But yeah, one of 4 top 100 prospects in MLB.com. That number's going to drop as those 2 graduate, in Painter and Crawford, but then that's 2 more spots that Mr. Wood can go up, and I would not be shocked if he's top 50, top 30 by the end of the season if he elevates as quickly as we think he will. Hey everyone, I've got some breaking news in the baseball world. Minor League Minute is partnering up with JustBats.com, so whether you or someone you care about needs a bat, now is the time to get it. Spring is around the corner, leagues are starting up soon, and if you want a product that's customized, taken care of, and polished by the pros, just keep it simple and go the JustBats.com route. They have knob stickers, customized engravings, and their team can even supply you with re-grip services to get you and your team ready for the season. Head to the link in the description to learn more about JustBats.com today.
Sure. I'll keep it in the NL East. Go with another arm that I've also mentioned as a riser on this very show about a month ago when we were in spring training. I'm going to go with J.R. Ritchie for the Atlanta Braves, shoving in AAA. Him and Didier Fuentes were going to, back and forth. Who was going to make the Atlanta Braves? Fuentes got the call. He got a few appearances, a little cup of coffee in the big leagues before getting back down to AAA. But Ritchie, 83rd in the top 100, 4 starts for AAA Gwinnett. He's 3-1 with a minuscule 1.72 ERA across 4 starts. You talk about the strikeouts, 20 strikeouts in 21 and a third innings pitched, 10 earned runs. Walks are concerned. He has 3 in each of his first 4 appearances, but this is a guy that really impressed with his control. He's limiting the extra base hits, limiting the home runs. And, you look at this Braves team off to a great start. They have Sale, who's been healthy to start the season. Bryce Elder, Ronaldo Lopez is back from injury. They also have Grant Holmes, Ronaldo Lopez when he's not swinging hands at Jorge Soler after a high pitching in. But I mean, there's a little back and forth. Jose Suarez is right there in that quote number 5 spot in the rotation. They kind of used him as like a back-end reliever. Schwellenbach, Waldrip still on the IL. Strider is still on the IL. I'd give him the call, fellas, and let him kind of sit in that 5 spot in the rotation behind those 4 guys as mentioned. You get him some reps, you get him some opportunities at the big league level while you're, rehabbing. You can give those guys time because you have this guy who's a top 100 prospect who is showcasing himself at the AAA level. At some point, you got to give him the promotion. You got to reward him for his type of performance to start.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick, Jacob. Speaking of guys that got challenged this week, David Davalillo is my pick. He's the number 7 Texas Rangers prospect. I saw him last year in Frisco, right after he got called up from Spartanburg in High A. And he has been really solid to start off the year so far. He has pitched at least 5 innings in his first 2 starts, which, if you look at starters, usually around minor league baseball, you don't see a lot of guys going, 5, 6, 7 innings, especially in those first starts as they build themselves up as well. Speaking of not 6, but 7, we had a lot of strikeouts. 7 strikeouts in each of the first 2 games for David Davalillo. 7 Ks against Corpus Christi, 7 Ks against Leo DeVries in the Midland Rockhounds as well, too. Speaking of DeVries, that's one of the only runs that he's given up. He's only given up 2 runs this whole year. One of them was a solo shot because of Leo DeVries, but you really can't blame any pitcher for that. But the main thing that really impresses me about David Davalillo is that splitter. His splitter, last year, opposing hitters bat 077 off of that splitter. It is a nasty offering, and he pairs that up with some other pitches. I remember when I was in Frisco, they were actually, implementing the cutter into his system. We went over to talk with some of the pitching coaches. They were talking about that was a pitch that he was adding, but really that splitter, which has a 65 grade on the MLB prospect rankings, it's so impressive for David. And he's a guy that I think is really underrated. I don't think gets a ton of shine, but he's a guy that when he works his way up the Rangers system, you'll see he's kind of that under the radar, really good pitcher, and that splitter is going to play well at all levels. It's going to play very well in the majors.
And the length of starts, the first thing you said, Sedric, that's a great point because there's a variety of factors at play early on in the season. It's colder in most of the country as you get further south, obviously. Sometimes they don't have all 4 seasons. But also these guys just, again, back to the routine-oriented beings that professional baseball players are. They're not throwing 90, 95, 100 pitches right now. Some of them have that number, that arbitrary number of, I'm going 65 today, I'm going 70 pitches, I'm going 75. He's just straight up efficient. He has the ability to warm that arm up early on in the season.